Neewer recently updated the QZ trigger firmware to support Godox flashes. But there's one more thing I need to test before integrating Neewer flashes into my Godox setup. If you're mixing both brands in front of your subject, that could be a deal breaker. I'm going to test exactly that because I haven't seen anyone else do it. I'm definitely not a baby shower photographer, but I'll take any opportunity to play with new toys. Neewer sent me their new Q120 outdoor flash. It delivers 120 watts of power. More than 400 full power flashes per charge, a built-in modeling light and a magnetic mount for smaller modifiers. In this video I'll cover how I use this flash for late pregnancy portraits with my girlfriend, how I switch it to the Z3 on-camera flash for the baby shower, and some big news about Neewer and Godox compatibility. My name is Jose Alcoy and I share tips and reviews on off-camera flash photography. You can grab my free one light setup guide for dramatic portraits. The link is in the description. I prefer to focus on real-world use rather than specs, but here are some general impressions of this flash. It comes in a carrying case and has all the bells and whistles you'd expect from a modern flash. TTL, HSS and a 3-watt modeling light. I have to say, the modeling light is great when using the flash bare, but inside a large softbox it doesn't make much of a difference. The battery life is excellent for the kind of casual shots I usually do, where I only take a handful of photos. I rarely need to change it between sessions. It weighs 1.5 pounds or 670 grams. And the size is perfect for fitting into one of my camera bag's compartments. It also works with most modern Bowens mount brackets if you want to use it inside a softbox. Overall, it's a very practical flash for studio or on-location work. By the way, Neewer sent me this flash to test, but I'm not being paid to make this video. I've left affiliate links in the description if you want to check current prices. For the big belly shots, I use the Q120 inside a 120cm gridded softbox, because when you're lighting a baby bump, you want soft, flattering light. So here we have Catherine, in her very last weeks of pregnancy, looking amazing despite being exhausted. The colors are straight out of camera. For my taste, the light runs a touch warm, and I'd nudge the tint slightly toward magenta, but we'll do a proper comparison with Godox flashes in a moment. I also tested the Q120 with different modifiers. First, a 120cm gridded softbox, with the Z3 inside a smaller softbox as a rim light. Very solid results here. Then an umbrella inserted into the metal handle that comes with the flash. Much more compact than a softbox setup, and still very good results. And finally, the little magnetic dome that also comes with the flash. It gives a harsher light, but still very usable if you're after that direct flash look. I thought the baby shower would be a good chance to put the Q120 to the test. We arrived a little late, and the venue didn't leave much room for a light stand, but I still managed to grab some quick shots. And yeah, wherever you see me with my phone in hand is because I'm triggering the camera. But I quickly switched it to the Z3 on camera, almost at full power, to bounce off the high ceilings of the tent. And that's where I got the showstopper shots. I'm really pleased with the colors, the quality of light, and the subject separation from the Sigma 85mm combined with the Z3 flash. I shoot mainly with Godox, but I've been adding more and more Neewer flashes to my setup lately. Neewer recently updated the QZ trigger firmware to support Godox flashes, which is a bigger deal than it sounds. With everything set to RX compatibility mode, you can now mix Godox and Neewer gear in the same setup seamlessly. Just do your research before buying. Only recent Neewer products received the compatibility update. But there's one more thing I need to test before integrating Neewer flashes into my Godox setup. One pattern I noticed when testing their flashes is that I kept having to adjust the temperature and tint. The Neewer looked kind of yellowish, while Godox consistently looked more neutral, maybe a tad magenta. For a rim light or hair light, that difference is probably fine. But if you're mixing both brands in front of your subject, that could be a deal breaker. I'm going to test exactly that because I haven't seen anyone else do it. I'm illuminating both sides of my face with different light ratios. On one side, a Godox AD200 Pro 2 with a bare bulb in a 90 cm gridded softbox as a fill light. On the other, the Neewer Q120 in a 120 cm gridded softbox as the key light. And this is what I feared. The Neewer looks yellowish, while the Godox looks pretty much neutral. Here's the result with both flashes firing at the same time. I repeated the test. Same softboxes, different flashes. This time the Godox V1 mid in the small softbox as the fill light, and the Neewer Z3 in the big softbox as the main light. And again, both flashes firing together. The difference in temperature bothers me quite a bit. But what do you think? Would you miss both brands in the same shoot? Or does the difference drive you crazy? Let me know in the comments. Neewer's strategy is pretty clear. They're openly going after Godox users, and their biggest selling point is that they now have full compatibility across both flashes and triggers, combined with products that are far more advanced than what they used to be. They've become a really solid alternative to Godox. But before mixing both brands on the same shoot, there's still one missing piece for me: color neutrality on the Neewer flashes. If you use Neewer exclusively, it's honestly not a big deal. You just adjust the white balance and you're good to go. But I have to be completely honest with you. If I'm mixing brands in the same setup, for me it's a deal breaker. Again, there's nothing wrong with the Q120, apart from running a bit warm, especially considering the very competitive price. The closest Godox equivalent is the AD100 Pro 2, which retails for around $300. The Q120 is slightly bulkier, but in exchange it offers a bit more power. And it's not uncommon to find it for around $200. It's available for Sony, Nikon and Canon. Check the prices for your system using the links below. You might be surprised, as Neewer often runs promotions that are hard to resist. In case you were wondering, mother and baby are doing great, and daddy is slowly getting back to making videos. Subscribe for more and check out my review of the Neewer Z3 flash. 100 watts of power makes a real difference when bouncing light off high ceiling.